Hello folks, welcome back. In this lecture we are going to talk about error handling. So usually while running Ansible it execute all the tasks in the sequential. If it find any particular task is failed, it cannot proceed with further tasks. I mean to say, assume that I am installing HTTPD on one server and starting the service, and let's take an example installing HTTPD. First, we are installing HTTPD, starting the service, and copying the file. So, in this case, installation is successful and you are trying to start the service is failed, then it cannot go further tasks. Okay. So, to overcome this problem, we can use the ignore errors. Let's take our example install Apache httpd.yml. So earlier we were using with the tags. Let me remove the tags for time being. So let's take this example. First we are installing HTTPD on all the systems. Once it is done, we are starting the service. Then we are installing Apache on Ubuntu system and starting Apache on Ubuntu system and copying the file. Let's execute this playbook now. So Apache playbook I'm executing, and this time it is going to successful because there is no issues, and moreover it is already installed and started. Okay, I was testing it, so it started. It was not running on this system, so it's running. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to my RHEL server. In RHEL server I'm going to edit my /etc httpd conf /httpd.conf file. Okay, so we are editing this file and I'm just adding a line testing. Okay, so whenever you add something, if it is not readable by your httpd server, it is going to fail. So let's save this one and service httpd restart. If I do, you can see it is going to fail because I have added some additional lane which your Tomcat server cannot able to read. So now if I run the playbook again, you can see here installing is fine, but while starting on our server it has been failed. On 140 it has been failed. After that, if you see these two anyway, it is not testing on this system, and copying also it is not working. Let's take an example that even though some tasks are failed, you still would like to continue further. These kind of situations may come because it won't affect if some playbook fails. In those cases, we can use a parameter called ignore errors. Let's edit our Ansible playbook. So here what I am doing is I'm just adding ignore errors. So what I'm trying to say is ignore errors, yes. So by default it is no. Now we made it as a yes. What does it mean? That in case this task is not successful on any of the systems, please proceed further. That is the meaning of this. Let's save this one. Let's execute it. Oops. So maybe syntax would be wrong. Yep. Typo. Okay, ignore errors. And let's execute now. We can see even though it is failing to start the service, still it will continue further. You can see here failing but ignoring. Okay, on 140 it is failing to start the service but still ignoring, and further if you see it is tested on this system as well, and it is tested on this system as well, and copying onto this system. Okay, that is how ignore errors does work. If we see previous output, okay, here it was not copying file and it was not testing while installing Apache on Ubuntu. So that is how we can handle our errors, and you can still see it is not showing as a failed because we are ignoring that error, but in the previous output we could see that it has been failed and only two tasks executed, right? So that is how we can handle our error. Let me set it back. So I'm just removing this line, and this time if I execute it again, it is not going to fail, so ignore errors doesn't get executed. Yes, started the service. That's it. So this is how we can use ignore errors. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video.